Select Board meeting and invite you all to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which stands one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll start tonight by reading the hybrid opening statement pursuant to Governor Healy's March 28, 2025 order extending the temporary provisions pertaining to the open meeting law until June 30th, 2027. The meeting of the Sutton Select Board is in hybrid format and is being recorded. All meeting recordings will be made available through after proceedings on the town's website and YouTube channel. Meeting, YouTube, and Zoom links can be found at www.suttonma.org/cable-department. And that rule also requires that we have a roll call vote to declare whether we are here in person or remotely.
Jonathan Anderson in person.
Jeff Bannon in person.
Norman Champagne in person.
David Hall in person. One member not here. Okay, from there, we will move to
Minutes.
public forum. I usually forget something, so I'm just checking. All right, so public forum is limited to 5 minutes per topic. Discussion or comments about town employees or agency members shall be avoided so as not to violate individuals' rights. Is there anyone here today for public forum? Anybody online for public forum? I don't see anybody. So up next, we have 6 recognitions.
Minutes.
Well, unless you want to do the minutes first.
Yeah,
We can do
I'll
that.
make a motion.
Let's do the minutes.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept as presented the May 6, 2025 Select Board meeting minutes.
Second.
Motion and a second. I'll take a vote.
Jonathan Anderson, aye.
Jeff Bannon, aye.
Norman Champagne, aye.
David Hall, aye. For some reason, I can't see that on my sheet, even though it's right there. Okay, now we'll go on to recognitions. We have 6 Eagle Scout recognitions, and I will ask the clerk to read each of them into the record.
All right. Town of Sutton, Massachusetts Certificate of Recognition in grateful acknowledgement of many years of faithful service to the Boy Scouts of America, Troop Number 131, Heart of New England Council, and the Town of Sutton. It is hereby resolved in formal session by the Sutton Select Board that this certificate of recognition be awarded to Benjamin Hicks for having attained the rank of Eagle Scout, whereas Ben, having been a member of Sutton Scout Troop Number 131, gave generously his time and effort beautifying a cherished location in Sutton. He served his community in a dignified, faithful, and scout-like manner, and whereas Ben earned his Eagle Scout rank with a project that consisted of clearing the Indian Prayer Walk at historic Waters Farm, as well as clearing the active walking trails and posting a preservation/trail map at the trailheader, which included blazing every active trail. And whereas Ben set a model of commitment and dedication for all Scouts to follow, now therefore be it resolved that the Sutton Select Board, on behalf of all residents of Sutton, commend and congratulate Benjamin Hicks on this most prestigious achievement. The Select Board members are proud to wish Ben well in all future endeavors. In witness thereof, the Sutton Select Board has caused this certificate to be read into the record and signed this 20th day of May in the year 2025 and will be presented on Monday, June 2nd, 2025. Should we go through them all?
Yeah.
Town of Sutton, Massachusetts Certificate of Recognition in grateful acknowledgement of many years of faithful service to the Boy Scouts of America, Troop Number 131, Heart of New England Council, and the Town of Sutton. It is hereby resolved in formal session by the Sutton Select Board that this certificate of recognition be awarded to Ryan Gleason for having attained the rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas Ryan, having been a member of Sutton Scout Troop Number 131, focused attention on the restoration, cleaning, and addition of new storage to the Sutton blacksmith shop. Also completed was the addition of multiple signs and labeling to show off various pieces of historic tools. Ryan served this community in a dignified, faithful, and scout-like manner. And whereas Ryan set a model of commitment and dedication for all Scouts to follow, now therefore be it further resolved that the Sutton Select Board, on behalf of all residents of Sutton, commend and congratulate Ryan Gleason on this most prestigious achievement. The Select Board members are proud to wish Ryan well in all future endeavors. In witness thereof, the Sutton Select Board has caused this certificate to be read into the record and signed this 20th day of May in the year 2025 and will be presented on Monday, June 2nd, 2025. Number 3, Town of Sutton, Massachusetts, certificate of recognition and grateful acknowledgement of many years of faithful service to the Boy Scouts of America, Troop Number 131, Heart of New England Council and the Town of Sutton. It is hereby resolved in formal session by the Sutton Select Board that the certificate of recognition be awarded to Amsden David Klinghardt for having attained the rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas Amsden, having been a member of Sutton Scout Troop Number 131, organized and hosted a 5K trail race to benefit a Worcester-based veterans organization. Entry requirements included the donation of much-needed supplies for veterans facing hard times. Amsden served his community in a dignified, faithful, and scout-like manner, and, whereas Amsden set a model of commitment and dedication for all scouts to follow, now therefore be it further resolved that the Sutton Select Board, on behalf of all residents of Sutton, commend and congratulate Amsden David Klinghardt on this most prestigious achievement. The Select Board members are proud to wish Amsden well in all future endeavors. In witness thereof, the Sutton Select Board has caused this certificate to be read into the record and signed this 20th day of May in the year 2025 and will be presented on Monday, June 2nd, 2025. And also the Town of Sutton, Massachusetts certificate of recognition and grateful acknowledgement of many years of faithful service to the Boy Scouts of America, Troop Number 131, Heart of New England Council and the Town of Sutton. It is hereby resolved in formal session by the Sutton Select Board that this certificate of recognition be awarded to Connor Moore for having attained the rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas Connor, having been a member of Sutton Scout Troop Number 131, rejuvenated the nature trail behind the Sutton Elementary School by clearing overgrown brush to allow teachers to continue using the nature trail for its intended use of teaching about ecosystems and ecology, as well as replacing signage to display an accurate trail map. Connor served this community in a dignified, faithful, and scout-like manner, and, whereas Connor set a model of commitment and dedication for all scouts to follow, now therefore be it further resolved that the Sutton Select Board, on behalf of all residents of Sutton, commend and congratulate Connor Moore on this most prestigious achievement. The Select Board members are proud to wish Connor well in all future endeavors. In witness thereof, the Sutton Select Board has caused this certificate to be read into the record and signed this 20th day of May in the year 2025 and will be presented on Monday, June 2nd, 2025. And the Town of Sutton, Massachusetts certificate of recognition and grateful acknowledgement of many years of faithful service to the Boy Scouts of America, Troop Number 131, Heart of New England Council in the Town of Sutton. It is hereby resolved in formal session by the Sutton Select Board that this certificate of recognition be awarded to Sadie Bridget Stadinsky for having attained the rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas Sadie, having been a member of Sutton Scout Troop Number 131, beautified and restored the camp trails at Marion's Camp, focusing attention on clearing brush to lay gravel along the trails and installing water bars to hold the gravel in place, which will help to eliminate washout and muddy conditions. Sadie served this community in a dignified, faithful, and scout-like manner, and, whereas Sadie set a model of commitment and dedication for all scouts to follow, now therefore be it further resolved that the Sutton Select Board, on behalf of all residents of Sutton, commend and congratulate Sadie Bridget Stadinsky on this most prestigious achievement. The Select Board members are proud to wish Sadie well in all future endeavors. In witness thereof, the Sutton Select Board has caused this certificate to be read into the record and signed this 20th day of May in the year 2025 and will be presented on Monday, June 2nd, 2025. And the Town of Sutton, Massachusetts certificate of recognition and grateful acknowledgement of many years of faithful service to the Boy Scouts of America, Troop Number 2019, and the Town of Sutton. It is hereby resolved in formal session by the Sutton Select Board that this certificate of recognition be awarded to Catherine Schultz for having attained the rank of Eagle Scout. Whereas Catherine, having been a member of Scout Troop Number 2019, gave generously her time and effort and served her community in a dignified, faithful, and scout-like manner. And whereas Catherine earned her Eagle Scout rank by overseeing the production and installation of 6 bat boxes for the Grafton Land Trust, which was designed to support local wildlife conservation. And whereas Catherine showed her leadership throughout the planning, organization, and execution, exemplifying her values and commitment, representing what the Eagle Scout rank represents. Now therefore, be it further resolved that the Sutton Select Board, on behalf of all residents of Sutton, commend and congratulate Catherine Schultz on this most prestigious achievement. The Select Board members are proud to wish Catherine well in all future endeavors. In witness thereof, the Sutton Select Board has caused this certificate to be read into the record and signed this 20th day of May in the year 2025, and will be presented on Saturday, July 19th, 2025.
Thank you. Nicely done. Is there anybody in the audience that was here to speak about any of this? Or online? So normally we do sort of a roundtable thing, but there's no representatives here. So Norman has in the past been able to attend some of the ceremonies for the Eagle Scouts. So we've nominated him to sort of give us a little talk about Eagle Scouts in general.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I'm happy to. As role in this selectman, town of Sutton, there's two things I'd like to do outside of that, is besides the select board meetings and other town activities. But among my favorite are two of them. One is when a new business comes to town, to thank them for selecting Sutton. And when I speak, I sincerely mean that I appreciate their risk-taking and, waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning when you open a new business, because there's a lot of risk, but big risk, little win. And when it comes to attending the Eagle Scout ceremonies and as well as the review boards, I've learned so much as a select board member of the time and effort, the love of the family, their commitment to it since early on of being a Cub Scout all the way to Eagle Scout. And I did maybe 2 or 3 review boards, 2 for sure. And I am just groomed, over 30 years. And as I asked pointed questions, and were tough. And I asked some tough questions, and they were prepared. A little nervous, but they were prepared, and they came up with very good answers. And I was impressed. And I've learned that I'm also proud of Sutton that for the pipeline of Eagle Scouts that we have, and that comes from the leaderships of the troops, 243 and others in St. Mark's, and also to thank the troop leaders and the den mothers who are really, really focused of seeing them succeed, mentoring them, providing guidance, and sometimes they just want to drop out and encouraging them. So it's a real pleasure. And what I've learned is when he just spent a litany events of what they did for leadership, and that is very key what they learn, because I always say that leadership is not always fun, right? When you have to delegate, and I always say it, and I say it on this board in a couple of meetings, is sometimes when you have to make tough decisions, take the bulls by the horn, it's not going to make you popular, but it demonstrates leadership. And that's what they really learn at a young age. And that's what I've learned on a review board. It's some of the challenge. They have to over-communicate. And it's always good to over-communicate. So you can see the challenge they had in leadership. But it's an honor that no one can ever take away. Once it's thrown in, they got the Eagle Scout. They never, ever can take that away. And it comes with great benefits, I believe. I believe that you can go to a number of colleges, for military. It's looked upon. And there's so many benefits that they have that perhaps others think that maybe it's not fair. But end of day, believe me, those Eagle Scouts, they earn it. They've earned it. And it's proud to see, again, I'll conclude that it's great to see that we have such a great pipeline of Eagle Scouts and coming from Sutton. And I want to thank the parents, the troop leaders, and the Scout themselves for devoting that time from inception, beginning early age, to the end game of becoming an Eagle Scout. So I just want to thank you on behalf of town of Sutton, all these names here, Benjamin, Ryan, Amsden, Connor, Sadie, and Catherine, of becoming Eagle Scouts. So congratulations and thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Well said. I appreciate that. And that's the thing I wanted to echo that you got to at the end there was just how many Eagle Scouts that come before us, over the time that I've been on the board. It's quite impressive, the number of people that, as you say, dedicate many years of their lives to getting to this. So very impressive. So thank you. Congratulations to all those Eagle Scouts. Next on the agenda then is a Board of Health appointment of Associate Member Amy Valletta to full member.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Ken Malo is retiring from the Board of Health effective this month, a year early. The Board of Health would like to promote Associate Board Member Amy Valletta to a regular voting member for the remainder of Mr. Malo's term. Ms. Valletta can be reappointed for July 1st, 2026. And we would like to thank Ken Malo for his time serving the Board of Health in the town. So.
With permission of the board, could I speak to this one a little bit?
Yeah, sure.
I agree with you. Thanks to Mr. Malo for his service, but speaking specifically about Amy, Amy and I have known each other for a long, long time now. We actually served together on the Finance Committee, I don't know how many years ago, and I can just say this, she's always very enthusiastic about the work that she takes on. She's all in when she gets involved, and she's very bright, very hardworking, and I'm certain that she'll do a great job in this position. So that, I guess on my last meeting, I'm pretty happy to be able to promote her. So with that, if there's any other questions or comments, I think we can take a vote or take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to appoint Associate Board of Health Member Amy Valletta to full voting member with a term to expire June 30th, 2026, to fill a vacancy left by Ken Malo.
Second.
Motion and a second. I'll take a vote.
Jonathan Anderson, aye.
Jeff Bannon, aye.
Norman Shopping, aye.
David Hall, aye. Thank you, Amy, and congratulations. And now we can move on to Town Manager's update.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a quick update for the board. Open meeting law, public records presentation. We're planning on an open meeting law presentation to address the recent complaints for Wednesday, June 18th at 7 p.m. We strongly recommend the chair of multi-member bodies as well as the clerk of those boards attend. We will provide a Zoom option for those who cannot attend. We will have one additional response to Mr. Higgins in June. This will include the resumes of the 3 finalists. You may recall that the consultant forwarded the resumes to you folks, not involving our office. So it was a question of the law whether we needed to provide those resumes, and town council was considering appealing the attorney general, and I just told them, just give the resumes out. It's public information. Let's just share that information with whoever's interested. And so there will be one additional response to Mr. Higgins in June at that meeting.
And we're talking about in the minutes to the meeting is where we
Yes,
should-
right, because typically at the end of the meeting, you have to include documents considered during this meeting and any handouts or anything that are included in those minutes at the end. But the resumes were never included because that was done by the consultant,
Yep.
bypassing our office and this board. So rather than technically, we're not even going to go there. We're just going to provide the resumes and end this issue, if that's okay with you folks. In board meetings in June, Laura Caruso will attend the meeting on June 3rd, particularly in part because of the open meeting law violation. And Tim Harrison will attend the second board meeting on June 17th. And that'll take us through the end of the year.
Very good. Thank you, Jim. Thanks for the update, George.
No, I don't have any real comments. I just, I think it makes sense to issue the resume, so that's all I have right there.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yeah, I think I said last meeting, these, I guess what anyone would probably categorize as kind of trivial matters in these open meeting law, and I'm not sure of what the motivation is for Mr. Higgins, but I do think it serves a purpose, because if there are things that we're not doing, technically right, I think we should do it and get it right. So I don't have any problem with what he's doing, and I don't understand why he's doing it, but I don't have a problem with that, and I agree that we should just get the resumes out there if that's what it is. There's no, be as transparent as possible with everything here. So, and then the board meetings will take us to the end of the fiscal year.
Very good, thank you. Norman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The only concern is, suppose if a select board member is on vacation on the 18th, can they see a recording or?
Yeah, they would be available via Zoom, and it will be recorded, so anybody that missed it and wants to watch it will have the ability to either watch it via Zoom or watch the recording after.
So if the recording is watched, is it documented that I watched it, for instance, because I'll be on vacation?
I don't know. That's a good question. And I don't know that it's a job requirement. I just think it's strongly encouraged.
Okay.
And, obviously, if you watch it, you can, sign an affidavit before
Yeah.
and put it on file with the town clerk saying, because obviously we're all interested in following the open
Correct.
meeting law. And, that might be a way to do it, that Laura can collect, anybody that can't attend can submit an affidavit that they watched the meeting and, agreed.
Yeah, thank you, Jim, because I would prefer that. I just want to
Yeah.
get on record that I did attend, so
Sure.
I could, when I come back, I can
Right.
definitely take a look at that.
Good.
So, thank you.
Yeah.
Very good, thank you. And thanks for the update, Jim. So next we will move on to announcements, Select Board Roundtable, correspondence, and business topics. Jonathan, we'll start with
Thank
you.
you. I'd just like to recognize Jim. This is your last select board meeting.
Yeah.
You'll still be here for a little while longer through the end of the month, but I've been on the board this is my third term right now, and we've been working together for quite a while, and when I came on the board, you've been here for a while already, and I think the thing that I'm taking away from our time together is just really just the fiscal conservative nature that you and Tim work together so well to kind of manage the town. And as you kind of step down to go into retirement, you're leaving Sutton in a really good place that will allow us to kind of build from. And we're not trying to catch up like you had to when you first came here. So I think that has served us well, and I think there's things we have some challenges facing us coming up, but we have a lot of things in place that will help us deal with that challenge. And it's just been a real pleasure to serve with you. And we don't always agree with each other on everything, but what I've enjoyed is just that we may not agree, but we always worked it out and figured it out, and then obviously there's many times we do. So it's just been a real pleasure, and really excited for you in your next chapter of taking some time to, probably take some time off hopefully, and then, see where you go from there. But congratulations, and it's time well deserved. So thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jeff?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is my last meeting as well, and just wanted to thank the residents that supported me over the years. Thank Jim for his support, and past and present board members. So I will miss these Tuesday nights for sure. Couple of things before I forget. Nature Rome on the school committee is leaving after 20-something years, and I just wanted to extend thanks to him for his service. Anybody that spends that amount of time certainly deserves our thanks. So I wish him well. Let's see. Dave has got his last meeting tonight as well, and Dave has been provided leadership, perspective, I think, to us that it's hard to come by. And without, hyperbole, I think that, in the pantheon of great Sutton, all-time great Sutton selectmen, I think you've got a place right there. You've just kept us centered, and it's been a pleasure to work with you. I will say that it's been great having you as chair, because when you're not chair, we have this order that we speak in, which means that you speak first. And it's always just a tough act to follow, and I think you guys can attest to that as well. So it's been an honor to work with you.
Thank you.
And Jim, I know how much you like effusive public praise. So I'll keep it short. So one of the highest, I think, compliment that I think in terms of professional, someone's professional career is to call them a pro. And you're a true pro, and I've enjoyed working with you. It's been an honor to get to know you, and I'm sure we'll see each other. So, best of luck in the retirement.
Thank you. Thank you. Norman.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. First I want to say is the housing production plan meetings are still happening. I want to ask the town to please pay attention. There'll be some other meetings. I know there'll be one I believe on May 29th next week, where the public can view the activity. And also, not confirmed yet, there may be one in a Manchog at the theater. That'll be confirmed probably this Thursday night. So I just want to really ask the town to really partake and listen. This is a very contentious issue in a sense, and there's a lot of, I don't want to use the word ignorance, but a lot of unknown factors that people are not educated upon. So just this is a refresher. I want to make that there is the MBTA, the 40A, that we have to abide by and vote on it, yes or no at a town vote, and that is completely separate, right, in a sense of the HPP. And then you have the overall HPP that has to be developed, which incorporates, the 40B. So with that is, I want to remind that, and I think everybody knows how I feel is that I like to remain autonomous, and we can do Sutton first. We can take care of our own. And I'm sure we can with housing and transitional path for people that we want to retire to go with smaller homes and stay in Sutton with their families. But I just want to remind everybody that this is the law. Right? 40A is a law, and as well as 40B, we have to have 10% housing stock that is affordable, right? So, which I look at, it represents an opportunity, right? It's not about fairness, and it's about opportunity that we will have that. And I agree with that in a sense, but we can do it smart, right? So again, I'm encouraged for people to attend these meetings because we can have options. You can look at where you can build 2,000 single homes and disrupt the infrastructure to meet 40B, or we could be smart about it. We have in our favor in this town, unlike other towns, is we have the 146 corridor where there's some lots, and possible we can have some apartment living in apartments in 40R that will meet that number to put us in safe harbor with minimal impact to the town in terms of disruption of rural integrity. So again, I'll be posting my latest updates on that. I'll also be posting on a website, probably Sutton website, of the dates. So I want to encourage everybody to attend. Two is, Dave, Jeff, I want to thank you for your time and service. When I came on board, you're a gentleman. You made me feel comfortable. I was not intimidated. I remember you helping me in our first town meeting, how the process was and the like. And we all had our reasons, for joining the board and partaking in the town. So not everybody wants to commit the time and effort and devotion and passion. So your good works is not unnoticed. It's in a notice. I see the Lions and the like, so very, very key. And that's what makes a town different, right? When people partake in their town, and don't forget its roots of the town, right? And to help the people, right? To help our own, right? We hear that charity starts at home, right? And you demonstrated that. So I want to thank you for your time and service over the years in finance committees and the like. So thank you for your service. And Jim, I really put a lot of thought, and I'm being sincere, and I was talking to Dave, I got some stuff, I just need to write it down, because it can't be unnoticed. But I want to start, it was a pleasure working with you. And I think you recognize my street hockey grit, right? So, my wife would tell you, I'm WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. And
It's the Fall River in me, I can see that.
what position you play. No, but in earnest, though, is that, my wife would tell me, like, I can be the funniest guy, joke around, but when it comes to business, I'm a tough guy. And I have a thing about, we need to inspect what we expect. And not in a negative way. So, and like the other members here is, times we had diversity of opinions that came to mutual conclusions, right? We did not claim ourselves as victims and cancel each other. We reconciled, right? And that is about, right, the opinion. We get together and we talk about it, right? We don't separate a wall. And that was and what came out of that was a goodness for the town. Because even though among us select board members working with town managers across the board, maybe difference of opinions, but it's the best about the town. So there's a battery of things. I had to write them down because I didn't want to forget. All right, so I admire 18 years of service. It's a very long tenure for a town manager, and you held the position for 18 years, not only as town manager but as a resident of Sutton, which shows a commitment to the town residents. And you also had your 2 children enrolled in the Sutton School District. So it was commitment there. When you accepted the position in 2007, you immediately respected town's rural beauty and appreciated its history as a quintessential New England Yankee town, its Revolutionary War history, and its agricultural pride. And I look highly upon that. You made a lot of people comfortable with coming in with that mantra. Your consideration and respect the generation of Suttonians such as the Whittiers, the Johnsons, the Putnams, the Smiths, Water Kings, and current generations and future generations to come. We thank you, and I mean this in earnest, we thank you for not forgetting the roots of this town. And this was evident of your tenacious leadership in driving agricultural preservation restrictions, APRs, with the likes of King Farm, Whittier, Stevenson's, among others, perhaps I don't know about, right? So, again, thank you. I drive around here, and I need to get out of the house. I take a break, and drink a little water driving around after a tough meeting. And driving around in rural integrity is just pleasing to my mind, right? It just relaxes me. So what I'm saying is Sutton was very fortunate that you did not move forward with progressive ideas of aggressive growth, plans, increased infrastructure that would disrupt the town's sacred character. So it's what I said earlier, just earlier, is you had the mantra of it was growth, but it was smart growth. Yeah. Right? It is, and we cannot, and on behalf of Sutton, we cannot thank you enough. And because several towns that were just like Sutton took that path, and many of those towns cannot get back that rural charm so many people are looking for today, and they regret it. So from a personal example, I like to share of my introduction, how I was introduced to Sutton was back in 1977. My brother, being the first college graduate, went to Assumption College. And my parents would drive to Worcester from Rhode Island from Woonsocket, and we would go pick him up. And sometimes we would pick up his friend, Mary. I won't say the last name for protection, but Mary. And that was my first, and she lived in Sutton. My father would drop her off or pick her up, depending. And I couldn't believe the charm of the town. I came from a 3-decker town, right, congested. And I was so amazed by the town. Loved it. And I would never think I could live here. And later on, when I would go to college in Springfield, I would drive by Sutton. And so I remember going to Sutton. And when I built my home, moving forward, when I built my home in 2004 in North Attleboro, just so happens I met my wife. And we settled in North Attleboro for a while. She said, "No, I want to be close to my family. My wife's from Worcester." So we looked all around town, in Worcester, Libby, Shrewsbury, Grafton. It just did a piece for us. And I was always looking at Sutton. And we would look around, and it's just, that far reach. And we said, well, let's wait, and we saved. And all of a sudden, The land that we're looking at 2006 became a foreclosure in 2011, and by God's good graces, we bought it. And goodness, with my background in construction, whatever, I was able to manage most of the construction, which made it affordable. But I took that opportunity, right? And when I lived here, it was that charm remained the same. And you made that happen in a sense, all right? And to this day, I love. I'm not supposed to be living here. And I thank Divine Providence so many times. You can ask John, my friends who come over, I look at my backyard, I pinch myself that I have such a unique beauty. So I want to move on from that. And when I first came here as a select board member, I said, I got to know how the sausage works. I got to look at the financial planning sense. And I have a limited background in financial planning, but more of a corporate level for various reasons. But in my opinion, Sutton's fiscal policy is and still is the envy of other towns in the Commonwealth. You could easily Google and see what other towns are facing budget gaps and forced to have propositions 2.5. And thank you for having a team effort with Tim Harrison for fiscal accounting methodology. We sat down together, you explained it to me. For instance, for example, I was looking at the numbers and I said, wow, $4 million, close to $4 million over state minimum. And I was wow, that's a lot of money. That's a bucket. That's like 20%, 21%. So we sat and we discussed it. We go, Jim, it's not a lot. I just was curious, why the chunk? I mean, he explained to me is that would help increase competitiveness, right, for the schools and to better fund the schools as well as to bring the home prices up, right? And so there's a lot of Q&As that help address that, right? So that was green. But along with Tim Harrison's policy and for having, both of you, Tim and you, and along with the town hall and Sutton residents to practice austerity when we had to. And that is resulting of a strong Standard & Poor's rating. And that is, you developed that and you've earned it. Right? So thank you. And we thank you for not being the spendthrifts. I see what other towns, I spend a lot of time, don't get me wrong, about how other towns are managed. Because I'm a big guy in peer comparison, and we're doing okay. And I really want to sincerely thank you, those old towners, for not being a spendthrifts on the backs of taxpayers. As many would just, look upon as residents and say, well, we just need more money, we're just looking at my cash register. You took the consideration of looking at senior citizens and, like today, the senior citizens and that senior citizen center. And I knew that was on your mind when you made this is an austerity. And there's a special place for you, right? For all of us. Well, not all of us, but for you, for thinking like that in a good way. And today, recently, there are several residents in town that are concerned about change. And I'm trying to encourage them, embrace change. They've seen a new town manager, new school principal, and there were several residents in town that are concerned about their taxes, particularly those on fixed incomes. I get the calls, and I get the neighbors, and they out of the blue, and they should never be recycled and moved out of town, never. And if that is a mantra of some people, let us say this now, and I want to say moving forward, is that any concerned resident, right, can be assured that if they're worried, they will have the heart of Sutton to have, their backs, and the heart of Sutton will be their voice, because Sutton's a very, very special place. And I'm being earnest, and we are being earnest. We're select board members, and what I'm saying here is of your character, and you left a legacy. And this is not divisive rhetoric. So I like to call attention to everyone that we're all not perfect. None of us in this room is perfect. Nobody's in this town is perfect. But I want to say is that our love of Sutton is perfect. Mm. So, Jim, I was thinking of you today, and for the last couple of days I work with corporate executives. I see what the legacy is like, the good and the bad, and I was evaluating your legacy. And something came up is that I want to find your legacy is that you kept Sutton. And that's hard to do. You really do. Over the 12 years, I see the works of April Brown, what they do, the devotion, right? They love this town. Mm-hmm. Is, selling flowers in the garden club, the men's breakfast. I could a litany thing. What Paul does with Waters Farm, and it is the hours and devotion. And you will see that the Historical Society in Sutton, about the 8 lot schools and other, and I was talking to Joyce Smith for an hour, and she is like a walking encyclopedia of the history of the town, and with so much before. So you kept Sutton Sutton. That's your legacy. And I want to say to our fellow Suttonians, I want to say thank you, Jim, for your service. And I want to thank you for keeping Sutton Sutton. So everybody, I think we should keep Sutton Sutton. Again, Jim, thank you for your service. Sincerely. Thank you. That's all, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Tough act to follow. So this is my last meeting tonight. I think I added up 21 years between the Finance Committee and the Select Board, so I've been on the Select Board for about 11 years now. I was counting earlier today, and I don't know if I have this right, but I think there have been 11 members of the Select Board, plus myself in the time that I've been on the board, which I think is more to do with Jim retiring and part of how difficult his job is dealing with all of the changes that occur all the time on this board. For me, I always felt like, though, that what that demonstrates is, if you take this job, you're just a caretaker. That things change, times change, and you do what you can do with the time that you have on the board. So, for myself, you hear people say sometimes this is a thankless job, and most of the time, my feeling on this board has been completely the opposite. That you get to do things on this board that most people don't get to do. And you get to be part of things that not everybody gets to partake in. So, mostly I come away with way more than it ever took. And so, for that, I'll be grateful. I certainly thank the citizens of town for their support over all these years, all the members of the board that I've dealt with for their support over the years. There's a lot to making a board work. This particular grouping of the board, we've been through some challenges together, and we've worked pretty hard to make it work, and I appreciate that from all of you. So, thank you for that. Other than Jim, there's only really one person that I want to call out specifically, and that's Deb. She works so hard to keep this board together, provide us with all the materials that it takes to keep us running. There's lots of people, and I'm going to talk about this in the second town hall, that work very hard, but she works for this board in particular. So I would be remiss to not thank you for all that you do for us. And that's the other thing is, in a minute I'll talk about a luncheon we had for Jim this morning, but what I mentioned there is there are just so many outstanding people here at Town Hall that work hard every day for the benefit of the town, that are, quietly, really, you used the word pro. That's what these people are. They're trained professionals who really know how to do a job, which in the world that we live in is never an easy job. Everybody in town looks at what goes on at Town Hall. Quietly they do, whether am I getting the right tax bill, or is this working right, or how does it affect me? People are looking. And it's a highly regulated environment. So you have government agencies that are looking over your shoulder all the time, and it's technical work. And, I said the other day, to be a selectman in any town, I believe, is a much easier job when you know that all those people that are standing behind you are so good at what they do. You can be proud of the people that you're representing and the town you're representing, because they're there doing the right things for you all the time. So I'll come back to that if I could, but that's what has made this job fulfilling over all this time. So as soon as you start naming names, you leave people out, but that's where I am. I want to thank the whole building. So, Jeff, I want to thank you for the kind words. Jeff and I, if you don't know, have known each other since before either one of us lived in Sutton. We worked together years ago. If I did anything good with my time on the board, or back on the Finance Committee, it was being part of the effort to rope him in and bring him into the fold, and then ultimately get him on this board. You know, what I will say about Jeff is he's kind of quiet, unless you know him. But, you know, Jeff is one of the smartest people that I know. He probably has, in the time that I've been on the board, he's probably brought more very specific policy kind of efforts to the board. You know, things like reserve accounts, and, you know, we're both accountants, and so, you know, the stuff that you guys mentioned about the good things that have gone on with finances in the town that we've been here, that's kind of our background. And so, you know, Jim has really worked closely with, Jeff has worked closely with Tim and Jim to bring actual, real, tangible policy differences to the town. It's been, from my perspective, with what I do, it's been fun to watch, and you know, I would turn around what you said. I think you've really been one of the best selectmen we've had, so I appreciate that.
Appreciate it.
And Jim, one of the good things about having everybody leaving at the same time is I don't have to say that much, because there's a lot that's been said, and, you know, there's time issues and all that kind of thing. But today we did have a luncheon, which I'm so glad we were able to do that. You know, so the mix of people, family, colleagues from other towns, so many employees from Town Hall, past and present, that came to wish you well and thank you for the time that you spent. You know, who said it? 18 years. It's unheard of, you know, to do a job like this for that long. This is a highly stressful job. To do this job for that period of time with, you know, the same kind of scrutiny I was just talking about for Town Hall employees, times 10 for the person who's making budget calls every year and creating all the various kinds of policies that impact all the town residents, you know. And as Norman said, you know, I think you've done it with great care, recognition that these issues matter to people, and we don't do them lightly. We think through the things that we do. And you've just, you know, time and again achieved really excellent results. Personally, I have always appreciated, I feel like I've learned as much from you professionally as I have from anybody that I've known. So, you know, I think I consider you a mentor. And these days I consider you a friend, which I do appreciate, so thank you.
Yeah, me too.
So I would just say congratulations, and you know, I think it's really great that you are a town resident, because we know that we're going to see you around, and your commitment to the things in the town doesn't end because you're leaving this job.
Right.
And so, you know, I'm certain that the places that we'll see you will still be impactful. So I look forward to that and appreciate that, and hope mostly that you get to enjoy a little bit of free time and enjoy your time off.
Stay.
In the meantime, we presented this earlier today at the luncheon, but the town has created a plaque for Jim, and just so everybody knows, we did get to take a picture of all of us together before the meeting, but I would like to read it. In recognition of Town Manager James Smith, for 18 years of dedicated service to the town of Sutton, your leadership, commitment, and vision have made a lasting impact on your community. Your tireless efforts have shaped our town, and your legacy will continue to guide us. Wishing you the best in your well-deserved retirement. So, thank you, congratulations. This time I'll give you this plaque and I won't take it back.
Thank you, Dave.
So, with that...
Can I say a few words, Mr. Chairman?
Oh, I would like that, actually. Thank you.
I appreciate everything, and I truly appreciate working for this board and all the other boards I've had the benefit of working for. And they have, every board, when there's a new member, has a different character to it. But you folks epitomize Sutton and represent Sutton. Dave and Jeff, you will be missed in this community in your roles. Dave, I've known you since you were Finance Committee Chair, and I started as
Remember it well.
Town Administrator.
Remember the first time I talked to you.
I remember coming in here and we had a discussion on free cash, and it was just, it's surreal that was 18 years ago. I think we had some sort of connection there because we had similar minds, and it's just been a great years of experience working with you. The number of times you've been chairman and so forth. Jeff, when you were chair, it was a tough tenure, but it was, we go back a little bit too as well on Finance Committee and everything else, and I appreciate that time and treasure our relationship, and really loved our discussions, and hopefully that they continue.
Sure.
As far as the staff that actually are the pros behind the scene, first of all, Deb is, I can't say too much about her because I'll get emotional, and that's not good when you're on TV. But she's been a rock, and I know she'll be a tremendous asset to Austin. She's just got so much wisdom and experience and opinions. But it's been a treasure working with her. Really, 40 hours a week for 18 years. It's been a long haul, and so I treasure that time. The department heads and staff in this town are the best. I'd put them up against any town, even cities, because they have the ability to communicate, be committed, but also be flexible and understand and listen. It's a great group of people, and I can't name them all. Somebody, Dave, I think you mentioned it because you'll leave somebody out, but it's such a great group of department heads and staff that I've been blessed with, and it's been a treasure to work with them. I know Austin will be working with many of them, and appreciate his time with them. As far as Austin, my hope is that the town gives him the same sort of support and encouragement that the town gave me. When I first started, he's, I think, much more talented than I was when I started. He's going to be, he's going to lead this town with the board into the future, and I look forward to watching that and be supportive of that effort, because I think it's the right pick for this town. This role, I feel like blessed in many ways, but I've been a steward. This is, it's my time, and it's now somebody else's time to pick up the baton and run forward. And Austin's the guy, and he will make it work. As far as the residents of this town, that's it's truly been an honor and a privilege serving all of the residents of this town. They're wonderful people, and the senior center was a nice example of many of them this afternoon, and getting to see them all out there, and it really was a wonderful experience. And I want to thank all the residents for their support over the last 18 years. I couldn't have done it without you. I couldn't have done it without this board, couldn't have done it without my staff and Tim and everybody else. But I'm not going that far away. I'm just stepping back and handing the baton to Austin, and I think he's going to do a great job. So, thank you.
Thank you for that, Jim. And if I may say, I neglected to wish Austin well and the remaining members of this board well, and the
Thank
new
you.
members that are coming in for the next meeting. So,
Yeah.
I think they will do well. So, we look forward to good times coming up. So, all right. With that, we actually still have work to do. So, we are intending to go into executive session. Executive session in this case is what we call item number 3, to discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the bargaining or litigating position of the public body, and the chair so declares. So before we take a vote to go into executive session, I would like to say that assuming that we do, we will exit executive session back into regular session solely for the purpose of adjourning this meeting. But with that, we do need to take a roll call vote to go into executive session.
Jonathan Anderson, aye.
Jeff Bannon, aye.
Norman Shopke, aye.
David Hall, aye. Thank you, everyone.
Recording stopped.
George,